Welcome to T.D.G.S. Sports. That is going to be the first thing that people hear on the clip. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Hell yeah, baby. All these weeks
Anyway,
later, and the Braves are still in first place, man. It's getting kind of, yada.
welcome to episode 18. We are on episode 18, and people still want to hear what we had to say. And it's super cool, guys, because guess what? We added 3 subscribers, and I got out of YouTube jail. Yep, that's right. I got out of YouTube jail this past week.
What crime
Apparently
did
I
you
said
commit
something.
in YouTube, or to get in jail, or have the records been sealed?
No, I criticized openly Israel and the men that run Israel, and so I got in jail and they throttled the account for 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So apparently that's offensive. I didn't know that. I really didn't.
It's offensive to, well, it's just like, look here. Let's look at this. Now, I've tried to explain this before. Just like there are people of color, but there are no colored people. Okay, so let's say there's one candidate running in the last election, which I'm not admitting to anything, but if I said I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because she's black, right? There's no problem, right? No problem. What if you say you're going to vote for Donald Trump because he's white? There's a problem. See, you got to know this, man. Hey, look, you guys made the rules. Y'all made the rules. Y'all own the companies and everything.
I didn't. Some middle-aged white lady in Harvard made the rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They make up the pacifiers. Here you go. Pacifier for you. Just stay quiet, please. Just don't say anything. Pacifier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's exactly it. They sold everybody out. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed. Anyway, so on that note,
sports.
On that note, right? Things are heating up, really, like heating up. We got a lot of good things, not just in one sport, but we got a couple sports going here. At least I scribbled down everything that I could possibly scribble down that we talked about, and I still think I missed some things on the text chain, but that's all right. So we'll start with we'll recap. We gotta go all the way back to game 2 of the Vegas and Hurricanes.
Was the game 3.
No, we'll get game 2 first, and then we'll go game 3.
Mitch Marner got a hat trick in 6 minutes and 10 seconds, and then down 4-0, the Hurricanes come back and get 3 goals in 39 seconds.
That was crazy.
In the fourth,
that's game 3, isn't it?
That's game 3.
We can only go back just so far, man. I mean, it's like we can't go into ancient history. We can go back to when the Hurricanes.
You're right.
Game 3 has probably been the best game so far. Because
it really has the way. Well, I don't know though, right? So, game 3, the interesting thing is that the Hurricanes again, they came out ready to go. They wanted to let Vegas know that they were still in it. That losing one wasn't necessarily going to be the game that kills them. So they're going to come back and play, right? Actually, they won game 2. I'm sorry. So they're going to come back and stay with it, right, for game 3. But they stayed together, and then Vegas adjusted, and then the Canes kind of adjusted, but then they became disorganized, right? And so you saw this kind of like whirlwind of the Hurricanes, and they score on themselves, which, like Charles, like you said, defensive twice, right? And one to lose the game in overtime. Yeah. Now, again, I want to criticize them, but Charles, you're right. We have all been there as a defensive player. Right. I've been cut from a travel team actually because literally the puck ricocheted off my stick into the net, right? And it was like, come to the bench, please leave the rink, right? But it's just like, even that game, even after they scored on themselves, which we can agree was a momentum shifter, right? Mm-hmm. They still got back into it. They still said, we're not going to let that kill us. They adjusted. They came back to tie the game, went into overtime, and played as tough or as physical as the entire game leading up to it. And it's just that one bounce, that hit the defenseman's stick, hit the back of Boosie, and then right in. And that's unfortunate that happened, but it's just interesting to see these adjustments it's like you don't the team that starts isn't the team that ends, right? There's so many adjustments that's in between there that you get kind of three versions of the two teams out there.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've been surprised with the most in the series is Carolina's ability to adjust to whatever Vega adjusts to. So the counter adjustments is what's kept them in the series. Nobody else has done that to Vegas in the entire playoffs. When Vegas changes and adjusts, they dominate the games. They end up winning by 3-4 goals. But with Carolina, Carolina comes back and they readjust, and they've been attacking with the speed, and they've been just adjusting, try to break through, the neutral zone, and they've been on the attack, and that's their plan coming back. Is that anything can happen, and even yesterday's game, they outshot them by like 40 goals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 40 shots. They outshot the Vegas. So now Vegas has to come back for Game 5 and readjust their strategy to see how are they going to stop that attack that Carolina's been. And the thing is, what surprised me about Carolina is their stamina. Is that they've been able to take the grind that Vegas has brought and keep up with them throughout the entire game. I thought that they'd be fizzing out by third period, but no. It's like they catch a second win and they're right back at it.
This is like,
I think when it comes down
to a boxing match, if it was a movie, this is Rocky 2. That's
yeah.
Almost Creed. He just cannot get Rocky to stay down. And at one point when Rocky gets up and you just see that dejected look on Creed's face.
Like, what is it going to take?
But that's the thing, though.
And Carolina
talk about
keeps on getting up. It's like, stay down.
Yeah.
Stay down.
We talk about these teams grinding out. This entire series again is a neutral zone game, right? It's all about the trap defense, offensive breakout out of the neutral zone. And so when you see these adjustments being made, they're primarily made in that area of the rink so that you can get the puck through that kind of shutdown or preventative defense that they have there, right? If you funnel them into the boards, the next what?
Mark Stone keeps popping through for breakaways.
Yeah.
He's not that fast, but somehow he reads the play. He sees those seams, and he just jumps in there. What's he had probably in this series? He's had 4 or 5 breakaways in this series so far, and everyone knows he's there. But
now I want to see how Vegas is going to adjust to prevent that from happening so often, because it seems like every other play after they control the neutral zone, Carolina makes those little adjustments, and it's been Primary Stone who's been broken through, coming through those little slots. And what is Vegas going to do to come back? Because now they have to adjust to that, because if not, it's going to keep on being like one game, you win one, I win one, going back and forth. Just like Charles was saying about the Rocky movie. Every time knocked him down, they got back up. I'm like, what is it going to take to keep you down?
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because again, we all expected Carolina to essentially go down, the beginning of the series, right? And that it was either going to get the brooms out and let us sweep them away, and or they were going to put up maybe a 1-2 game win, and then Vegas was going to take it the rest of the way. But it's like this one, they put the statistic that 77% of the teams that win game, I think it's game 3, right, tend to win the series. I'm not necessarily sure that that's going to be a good statistic, right? We can't say that one team's better on paper in this case, because you see a team that was kind of underrated, I'd say at this point, step up and play a better team. Play that, you got Mitch Marner, Howden, McNabb, Eichel, Stone, right? You got a whole gaggle of players that are really good. What?
Wild Bill Carlson, don't forget him.
Yeah, Wild Bill Carl, right? But that's what I'm saying is you have a team that again, I hate to use the on paper thing to kick McKinnon when he's down, but on paper they were
really
the best team.
You're really good.
Yeah, I know.
Just stay with it, man. He dug his own grave. You can feel free to go ahead and put flowers on it.
I'm still going, right? So on paper again, and as we have seen in those moments where you get that flash of that paper team, they do great, but it's like Canes are, they're hardly a pin mark on a paper, and all of a sudden you get the better, you get their adjustment, and they become the better team. This is great, right?
I think they're even the match. I thought that Vegas, that their physical style of play would have gotten them over Carolina by now. That Carolina would be one of those teams that like beat down, like, you know, they can't keep up with Vegas' physical style of play. But they keep on coming back. They keep on coming back.
And it's again, that's an adjustment that they made though, because you saw that first game they didn't come out like that. Canes weren't physical. They didn't really move the puck. Put a body on somebody. Then they, I guess, walked into the locker room, pointed at a picture of Matthew Tkachuk, and said, "Play like him." And then they all got back out on the ice and played like Tkachuk. Right? They put the body on somebody. They went and they started hitting hitting anybody they could on the rink. Right? Even the guys on the bench, they started just hitting everybody. And it's like they turned into a whole different team. This is not the Carolina that we saw in the prior playoff games. This is a brand new team. And it's fun to see. It's fun to see, a team come in and have that Nick Saban effect where you got a whole different, strategy. Right.
And also notice in the last game, I think it was Vegas had, a power play. And I was like, they were not even attacking on the power play. It's like they were trying to set up for one shot and that's it. And I'm like, why are you not attacking? Why are you not in attack mode? It was a waste of a power play. They wasted that last power play.
I see teams do that sometimes. You got to lead, get a power play, and sometimes they're content to just control that 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Take 2 minutes off the clock instead of you got to put the hammer down.
Yes.
You get a power play, score a goal. And especially if you got a two-man power play,
advantage
score
of
2 goals.
If you don't score on a power play, right, it's you drop the ball. That's a definitely missed opportunity to kind of make it and not just a big play, but a game changer, right? That goal on the power play is always a momentum shifter because you have that, whether or not it's a good penalty or bad penalty, you still have that, got a penalty, the team was down, and you're kind of kicking the team when they're already down. And so that could shift a game. Right. That could absolutely shift the game. And if you don't capitalize and score, you missed it. And a lot of times you see Vegas do that where they don't capitalize and then the game doesn't go in their favor. Right. And last night, 2 nights ago, that was that moment where it did not go in their favor because they didn't capitalize.
Yep. And now there's 2 out of 3 and, got to take 2 out of 3 and got to win a game in Carolina. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, they have to go back to Carolina and win a game.
I think that's going to be tough, Charles. I agree with you on that when you said, if the Carolina will get that win there. I think that's the case. I think going to Carolina, playing on their home rink, they have the momentum. I think they're going to capitalize on that. And I think Vegas is going to the game already down.
Well, Vegas has to realize it's, Carolina's a different breed of cat. They're just not going away. And they have to go out and just, get your foot in their neck and just throttle.
They have to take it. And actually, the game that Vegas beat Carolina, that was their first loss this postseason in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to go back and do that again. You have to win at least one of 2 in Carolina.
Yep.
And I think that's gonna be. I think it's the series is tilting in Carolina. I think Carolina is going into Game 5 with the momentum of the series shifting in their favor.
Yeah, I think
what do they do in Game 5 is going to matter a lot.
Vegas does have
Game 7
championship pedigree, though. I give them that. They know what it takes, so they have won the cup, and then you got Carolina that's still kind of searching. Most of the guys on their roster.
Yeah. They do have.
It's great. It's great. I love it. And that, online, pretty much I've seen there's been a few knuckleheads who have said they were going to boycott watching the Cup final because of Carter Hart and all the allegations that he had in the past off season, and they wanted to try him in the court of public opinion, even though he went up on charges. And, charges were dropped due to lack of evidence. So it's like, but if people have to virtue signal, so it's like this. Here's what I have to say. If you don't normally watch hockey and you're saying you're not going to watch it, who cares? You weren't going to watch it anyways. But as far as you who actually like hockey and you decided not to watch for some stupid reason because you think that's going to hurt the universe of hockey, you are missing a great Cup final. and
Yeah.
you're a knucklehead.
Possibly the greatest Cup final ever
Yeah.
when it's all said and done.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an
I
instant
tell you
classic.
what, like,
This is an instant classic.
yeah.
Well, I bet you everybody
Like I
who didn't
say,
watch it, they're going to watch replays later on. It's like, well, I
yeah,
didn't
but
see
why?
Carter Hart
Right?
live. I'll go ahead and watch it.
I love again. My team's the Kings. Love the Kings. It's
Yeah.
like if I turn the TV off, one as someone who's played hockey my whole life, right, and love the sport, I would do an injustice to the sport, right? Especially as they're trying to grow and expand the reach of the league and the youth leagues. It's like, don't turn it off. Watch it because it's great. I know we all thought it was going to be crappy, but it turned into a great series, historic series, in my opinion. I think this will be one that we all remember, and we can finally have a memory between 2014 and now for a good Cup series, right?
I don't even want to take a break during intermissions. I'm watching the replays, watching the highlights, looking at every little angle, everything possible. Not even during the intermission, I'm taking breaks. I'm watching because I want to see every single shot, missed opportunities. I'm looking at everything. Who could have done what? Where the small mistakes were made? Where could they make adjustments? Trying to analyze the whole thing. So I'm watching and rewatching. The only thing that blocks. The only time I take a break is when PK Subban comes on. And shows his new suit.
Oh,
when he's wearing pajamas or his Catholic priest,
that was a Shaolin Kung Fu master outfit that he was wearing.
PK Chang?
It was.
No, that was PK Chang?
What?
Yeah. PK Chang, yes.
It's, man, that's the first thing we talk about.
Stars out there or something, man. That was something else. I'm like, yeah, that was a bold choice. I don't know if he's allowed in the hood, but, he's from Canada, so he don't know about the hood, but if he goes to South Central dressed like that, man, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, all he needed was Leroy Brown's hat.
It'll be like Don Cheadle's character who was running that Chinese restaurant on Crenshaw in Rush Hour 2,
Honestly, those outfits are pretty white. They're pretty white. Yeah. Anyway, talking about analyzing and talking about things where that could shift the game, right? And the little mistakes. What we haven't accounted for is the fact that the replay has not gone in Vegas's favor, right? We had a goal, then it was challenged offsides. He was offsides. Now, again, he knew he was offsides. That was that moment where where you're at on the rink, and he was trying to get away with one, right? Get that edge on the defense out of the neutral zone. Okay, then the second one, right, hits the goal in the head. That was unnecessary. He should have had that goal taken away from him. But the replay did show that he intentionally did that. And again, then what was the next one? The next one was another offsides, right?
Well, here's what it comes down to: is that they had goals taken away, but there was no controversy about it.
No,
they reviewed it and they made the right call. So it was just like hard luck for Vegas. It's not a call that could have gone either way. It was clear in the cases of the disallowed goals, and then there's a goal that was scored it went in right after the whistle, right after the period ended, so it didn't count.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was that. Yeah. They replayed that.
They replayed it.
That was okay. Listen,
double zeros before the puck went in, so that's how it goes.
That's a rule.
As far as reviewing plays go, it's great. The fact that again, there's no controversy. They played it. Even that the zeros on the clock, no goal. It's like even the players on Vegas were like, look up and yeah, you're right, no goal. It sucks, but it's like, again, these are the replay, the ability for them, and that rule change in hockey. I remember when it happened, I hated it. I thought it was stupid, but then you started to see the usefulness and the fact that it's not something where you can call into question, a lot of the NFL replays where it's like, where do I go with it? For hockey, it was like, this is it. This is the call. You're right, Charles. It was the no controversy. We're calling what we call. We see it on the screen. The rules, clear cut.
Well, I'll say this with the NFL, they do get most of them right. I'll say that. But no, the worst replays are in college football. It's good Lord. I can't even see everybody just laughing because everybody's seen one that is just so egregious. You can't even believe that they let it even hold up. But college with their replay system, it's like, what in the world are you looking at?
Yeah, I think
College
again, yeah,
football is
that's
the
like,
worst.
yeah. Again, some areas of sports, the replay is overboard, right? It's they shouldn't have really had that. They kind of just went wild. They got like one sport got it, and then like every other sport adopted it, and it's like that was too much.
Yeah.
Too
I
much
like the
college
replay
football. It's
challenge
like,
in baseball, though. I do like the replay challenge in
yeah,
baseball.
that was a
Got
good
the
one.
helmet,
I
and
liked
yeah,
how,
That I think
yeah,
that's probably out of all sports the greatest addition to any sport. Not only does it help the batters, I think it helps mostly the catchers. Now you can really know catchers who are good at defensively, who can catch, who understands the zone better than others, because others just tapping just to tap, trying to discover the zone. Batters, who understands the strike zone very well, but the catchers, on the other hand,
right.
they can do it because there's a lot of places that have been a ball called a strike, and the catcher taps their head, or they called it a ball, it was a strike, and it gets overturned. And I have to say, my Cubs, both catchers on my Cubs are the 1 and 2 guessing correctly.
are these
On
are we talking about the
the
Indiana Cubs?
Oh my God, we go
No,
Indiana.
only the grown ones are Indiana. The Bears, Indiana. Little baby ones stay in Chicago.
Yeah. Anyway, back to hockey, right?
That's really a city. They're building a city for the Bears in Indiana, which is 20 minutes outside of the city of Chicago, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's still Chicago.
Screw you, Colts, right? I hope I pissed somebody off right there. I know it. I just know it. Back to hockey, right?
We've been on hockey for a minute, man.
Yeah, we're gonna end it here and then we're gonna move on, right? Moving forward, where do we see game 7? Who's gonna have the
you're already predicting game 7.
Well, we'll call next game. Game 7, I think we're gonna get. That's why I feel confident about it with the way they're playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna come down to an overtime game 7. We're gonna have a new Mr. Game 7.
Well, you know what? When the series started, I said Vegas in 6. I got to stick with that. I mean, and then, making the in-series adjustments. I said I thought Carolina win game 5, no matter what. But I stick with my call, Vegas in 6. So I'll be right. Vegas in 6, maybe Vegas in 7. But hey,
but you did say Carolina's going to win game 5.
I did, yes.
And then and Vegas in 6. So that one of them is not going to come true.
Right. Well, it's like this: picking who's going to win the series is one thing. But when you get to name the number of games, that's that you Sheldon Cooper type of a thing.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Vegas. Actually, I thought it was going to be Vegas in 5. Depending on game 3, we would get a 6 game. But right now, I'm hoping to see 7. So if they're going to keep them being this great, these games are going to be this good. I want to see 7 of them. Can we make up a rule and finish a tie in game 7 so we can get a game 8?
No, brother. They just run that sudden death till somebody scored.
Hey, Bettman might go for it, all depending on how it is presented. But yeah, love hockey. Stanley Cup playoffs are the best, and
yeah, it's great. It's great, man. Now moving on, right? Football has taken an interesting turn. We've had some good moves. We had some locker rooms that are getting beat up by journalists right now, or quote unquote journalists. And so it's been fun to watch the world of football as we had those moves. Also, we have seen the Browns kind of have an issue.
Everybody jumping ship. Abandon ship.
Exactly right. So we'll start with right is that Christian Watson had his contract extended to $110 million. And so he's playing again with the Packers. And I gotta say, as far as anybody that I won't argue that should be fired off that team, he is one of them. Christian Watson is the Packers saving grace. The fact that Jordan Love can throw a football and get a receiver injured is beyond me, and that's how bad you are as a quarterback. But Christian Watson, man, I am glad that he is on the team again and ready to rock and roll for this season. I just wish that we could get a better quarterback to support him.
Well, they called that back in the day. They called that throwing a hospital ball. They
But,
throw a ball that puts you in a position where if you catch that, you're going to the hospital.
and I'll
Yeah.
do like that Christian Watson signing. The thing is, can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the
That
field?
is a good question, right? Because he hasn't made the whole season since he got on the Packers. Actually,
I don't think he has one complete season at all.
no, not at all.
And by
It's
the
like
way,
he's a lesser version of Jordy Nelson, right? He's
Michael
got the height,
Parsons-
got the speed.
Michael Parsons, I don't think is going to be back until like week 8 or 9. Now,
He said October. I'm gonna bet like end of October. I think that Parsons is he's kind of geriatric at this point for the sport. And I mean that
Geriatric?
wholeheartedly.
What's
Yeah,
he,
he's old.
26?
Doesn't matter. He's old.
Well, Jerry tried to warn you. Jerry Jones he tried to warn everybody.
Yeah,
He tried
agree.
to warn you.
And that's the hard part. That's the hard part because he came out with the flash, right? Ready to rock and roll. And it was like, well, maybe that was a good trade. And then as the next couple of games went on, all they had to do was run away from Parsons. And it's like, you gave up Kenny Clark, right? And that was like, why would you do that? Because now you don't have anybody in the middle of the field. You don't have another edge rusher or defensive end on the other side of the field to contain on that side. It's like you have nobody but Parsons, and then Quay Walker can't move his feet to save his life. He can push a trainer over against the Lions, but he can't move his feet to tackle somebody, right? So now you have no middle of the field protection. It's like, well, what were they doing? The fact that they were able to collect themselves as a defense shows the ability of the coach who now went to Miami.
There you go. He's going to lead us to the land.
I
What
think
is
you
the
guys will get
promised
far,
land if you're a
but
Dolphins
nonetheless,
Promised land.
I
10
think
wins?
yeah,
10 wins.
yeah.
He will lead us to the
You'll get
promised land. That is 10 wins for the Dolphins this year.
Yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it for sure.
When's the Dolphins? I haven't seen their schedule, but I don't know. I don't think they have.
I think 10 wins is a little ambitious. I'll admit that.
I would say it is ambitious.
I get it. Yeah. We don't have Super Bowl
I know, man.
aspirations
Those
like you do.
aliens might help you out, though. Those aliens might help you out.
Well, hey, they're supposed to. June 24th, for those of y'all who don't know,
Yeah.
aliens are supposed to be landing. They're going to be in the Miami area. And I said on another show here that there is a place about 90 miles north up the I-95 in Miami, in Florida there. You get to a town called Jupiter, Florida. Jupiter is the 4th planet. We're the 3rd planet. These aliens must be coming from Jupiter. They established a base in Florida, and they're going back there, and that's how it's going to go down.
And they're not coming from Cuba. They're not coming from Cuba. They're actually aliens, right?
Right. We're not talking illegal aliens. We're talking about extraterrestrials. Those kind of aliens. You can't build a wall to keep these out.
You telling me that if I go to Florida, there's a place where I can just stand right there, look up at the sky, and see Jupiter?
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, Jupiter is the 4th planet. That's all.
Oh,
you have
my
to have beyond
goodness. All right,
eagle
here we
eye
go.
to see it. I don't know. Certain times when the moon is right and everything, and everything flashes properly, you can see it sometimes. I think some constellations up there, you can see them.
We're not alone. We are not alone.
We are not alone, which is why Miami will never get that undefeated season.
If you believe in God, you believe in alien beings. Period. You have to.
Yeah.
God is an alien, right? That's alien is not of this earth. That's what it is. Oh, look at that. Justin's head just exploded.
Yeah.
Justin's head just exploded.
Anyway,
God is an alien.
Yeah, speaking of a return to earth here is that Patrick Mahomes got his schedule his contract reworked at $500 million while he's injured too, and recovering nicely from what I could tell. So I think we might see an earlier return of Mahomes to the Chiefs than we would have expected, but $500 million. That's
almost half $1 billion, isn't it?
Yeah, almost $500 million. I was gonna say most of the
actually is $500 million.
The Chiefs. It depends though. If you, yeah.
That's the joke, man. That's the joke.
Have they given details on the structure or how they restructure the contract? I haven't seen that. That came out today.
I haven't seen it. I
Is
haven't
it
seen
one
the
of those
details.
deferred contracts where we're going to pay you when you're 59 years old, 60?
Well, that's like a lot of those
Here's
contracts with the NFL. They always say it's worth up to X, Y, and Z, you know? Provided all the variables are positive and Mercury does not go into retrograde for too long, this is what you're going to get. But there's all those little windows where if you're on the roster at this point, we have to do this to activate your bonus and all these types of things. So, yeah, I mean, looking at Patrick Mahomes, he'll likely get the entire $500 million that he's due, minus taxes and such. But, yeah, a lot of those contracts, and every season you have an out clause. There's an out every season for, the player can hold out or the team can just not put him on the roster on these certain dates and then just, they wind up with dead cap money, all this kind of stuff. But you can always get out of an NFL contract.
Yeah.
So my thing is, is it like a deferred, like Ohtani, where his contract is deferred for so many years so that way they can still have all that capital to sign up players now to build around him? So all his money, because he got 700 million.
But he's only taking a $2 million salary.
Yeah, $2 million a year. So everything is like deferred.
Balloon payment. They owe him $500 million like in 10 years. No, but they can't do that in the NFL. It's not structured that way. They can't do that. But baseball does not have a salary cap. That's why
that's why they're trying to put up. That's why they establish a salary cap, and that's going to be the lockdown of baseball. But I'm just wondering, curious about how Mahomes' contract was structured, because I'm thinking that they're still trying to win championships, so they're still trying to build around him. So they have to some way free up money to be able to sign players to surround him with, especially when you have Kelsey that's aging, and on a defense you have Smith that's aging. So you have aging superstars. So how are you going to replace them? Bring in other guys? You can't just depend on your rookies.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe Andy Reid is thinking he could start building a team and do it a lot better than everybody else has. That's a good point, though. That's most of that salary cap is tied up in Mahomes. So it's kind of where are you going to go with that? Again, you're right. Is that Kelsey's aging out of the league? He's also geriatric at this point. And it seems like this will be it. But yeah, what are you gonna do with that? Then they picked up the Seahawks running back, right? Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker,
yeah.
They picked up Kenneth Walker. So it's like you got like young guys, who's coming into the league, and then you got a few like veterans. It's like where you at? You have an awkward balance of your team. And with Mahomes, I still am waiting to see how he returns. He can recover nicely, but the problem is that you're not gonna want to do kind of the same moves that you have been doing because your knee still is not as strong as it originally was, right? So you're more susceptible to another tear.
The reason when they picked up Walker, and the whole thing is they feel the need now for a strong running game, because the problem is that you had Mahomes doing more running than he should, and also as you age too, he needs to pick his spots more so than when he was younger. And that's the same thing we saw when you look at the Chargers last year and why Justin Herbert wound up getting injured as the season went on. He basically, during the last 5 weeks of the season, he was their star running back too. That was the problem with Justin Herbert. And they had to shore that up out there in Los Angeles for the Chargers. So they don't get Justin Herbert all banged up, because you can't have your quarterback be your best running back also.
Well, you can't have your quarterback be the only guy on your team.
But I think when Mahomes comes back, even if he's back day one, even if he would be 100%, I think you're going to see him more out of the pocket than scrambling. I think they're designing plays for him because he can play out of the pocket. He's done it before. Right. So they're gonna, and that's why they brought in Walker. They have a whole new running game because they got rid of Hunt and Pacheco. So their running style is different. And the thing is with with Walker is that Walker can catch that ball too. So he's a dual threat. So
Right.
you have a powerful
that's a
running
good
game.
addition,
Plus
too.
you have that catching game that goes with it, which he didn't have necessarily with Pacheco and Hunt when he had them as running backs, because they could run through a wall, but they couldn't catch the ball. Now you have that power run game with Walker. Plus you have a guy that can catch, and he can go deep because he pretty fast, that kid.
Yeah. That just reminds me. I remember when, as great a running back as he was, but way back in the day, what the head coach Bum Phillips of the Houston Oilers, what he said about Earl Campbell. He said Earl can't catch a cold. As great a running back as he was, you don't throw to him out of the backfield. He just said Earl can't catch a cold.
But
There
he was right about it too.
Hey, we're all good at something. And
Yeah.
the thing is, you know your strengths and weaknesses, and you got to play to your players' strengths and weaknesses, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think that again. Yeah, I think it's more pocket, but not necessarily like a stable pocket. I think he'll be the guy to scrape up, and I think the way that they'll get Kenneth Walker out of the backfield will be not your typical, kind of bubble route out there. I think that they'll kind of get him out of the pocket in certain ways to be that relief, rather than like right in the middle or just go to the side and do what McCafferty does. So I think that, but Mahomes will still be able to scrape up the pocket, scrape around it, and so he'll still be able to have some mobility, but not in the same way that he used to. Not because he can't do it, but because that I don't think they want to necessarily leave him unprotected or leave him out of the pocket like that anymore.
What he needs to really hold back on is those little cat and mouse games that he likes to play at the end of the runs, trying to extend and get an extra yard or two, because he's going to catch a pretty big hit, and it's going to be back to the surgeon.
And I think
that's something you got to talk to him about. I
few
think
of
that's
those
a
defenders are
conversation
getting
that
tired
him
of
and
that,
Reed
too.
are going to have. What?
Few of the defenders are getting tired of Mahomes with that end of, you're going to try to tiptoe, and then someone puts a glove on him. He just throws his hands up like he's been shot and gets an extra 15 yards. But then I remember a defensive back tries to hold up on him and just let him go out of bounds, and Mahomes lowers his shoulder and blows the guy up. So it's like, okay, you can't have it both ways here.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes does, he does the whole flopping thing pretty well. And then he gets mad when it's not called. You're right. That's a Mahomes thing, but I don't think that's going to be a necessary factor for him. I don't think he's going to do either one of those moves. I think it's strictly going to be, you have this much of the pocket to move around. Don't go out of the pocket, right? It's like, I don't know what the, do to kind of like rein him back in, but it's definitely a conversation again that they're going to have and say, look, we need to make sure your knee lasts a lot longer. Otherwise you're going to have like Bosa where, you have another torn ACL.
Which Bosa?
Both of them, right? But
both Bosas?
Yeah. But it's like
Wait,
you don't want to have that.
Now? Did Joey sign? I'd heard he was possibly going to play alongside his brother in San Fran, but is he still a free agent at this point? I didn't check up on that.
I haven't seen anything with him yet. I'll have to go back and look. Nothing's popped up.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him signing elsewhere or anything confirmed on him going anywhere right now.
Yeah.
Well, if they have them both on the roster, there's a good chance you'll have one healthy Bosa for every game, right?
Yeah, as I said, I don't think, but Nick Bosa, he's still injured, isn't he? He tore his ACL at the end of the
We're talking Joey, not Nick. We're talking Joey Bosa.
No, I know, but you said having both of them. I think it'll still only be one, whether or not if he goes to Frisco, right?
But I guess the Bears are looking at Joey Bosa. They said the Indiana Bears are signing free agents.
The Indiana Bears. Again, screw you, Colts.
It's not Indiana Bears. It's the Chicago Bears playing in Indiana. That's all it is.
The Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
So on all your
Chicago
shirts,
Bears
on
of
all your
Indiana.
shirts, we're gonna get an asterisk that says, asterisk Chicago asterisk, actually Indiana.
They're actually building Bear City around the stadium. It's not just a stadium. They're building a small city to surround it. So
Oh,
it's like they'll have hotels, malls, and everything around the stadium. And that was what tipped the scale over the Bears choosing to go to play in Indiana.
Yeah, but you see that though, because again, Dallas and they're moving to Plano with the the Stars and the Mavericks. They're moving to Plano for the same reason, is that they're moving to an area where there's a mall and there's all kinds of other things around it. So you see that. The problem is that Dallas isn't moving across the Red River to Oklahoma and still trying to be called,
I get you. Yeah.
Dallas. Yeah.
I like they're building these small cities around the arena. It's like kind of like what my Atlanta Braves did with the Battery, right around their stadium. Whole area with all these shops and everything. They own the whole thing, and it's, from what I understand, absolutely incredible. And I'm thinking about going there next year. Watch what will be the reigning World Series champs play in their home stadium, next year. What do you say, E? Road trip?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Road trip.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get a media pass. Come on now. Yeah. They didn't invite me, but I invited myself. Because they know I don't like baseball. I'm sorry. I like baseball now. Now that they have a lockout, I like baseball, right?
Well, they don't have a lockout yet. That's not till December.
Yeah, but we're talking about it right now.
With a minute and a half to play, the Knicks have actually taken a lead in that game. They were down, 20 to 25, 27 points?
Yeah.
And
the Knicks have taken the lead in that game. Oh, my.
Yeah, that's what, the producer said. She just said that. That's interesting. Let's jump to basketball. Well, no, hold on. We got some football. We'll come back to football. Let's jump to basketball. Those seats right there that Taylor Swift is sitting at, right, are almost what was it? $40,000? 50? What was that?
Where is she sitting? Is she courtside?
No. Yeah.
I don't know what. Yes or no, man? There's only one courtside.
Yeah. I said yeah.
Courtside? No, not 40,000.
What was it? You sent me that thing yesterday. Yeah, wild though. The amount of money, like looking at the nosebleeds were I think one of the lowest one that I saw was $6,400.
Right. Yeah.
You got blood coming out of your nose, and you're paying $6,400 for a nosebleed.
If you watch the finals game in San Antonio, it's $2,000. So it's about that New York market. No matter what.
Yeah, because you're at the Garden right now.
In New York, somebody will pay it. That's what it comes down to. In New York, somebody will pay it. That's why.
But why? Why would you pay that?
Because they don't have anything to do with their money.
Well, it's not just.
Yeah, they give it to the new governor. The governor wants their money.
Look at how many people there are in New York, and look at what the stadium holds. Somebody will pay it. It's just like the ticket prices in LA for big games. It's ridiculous because somebody will pay it. All you do when the prices run up, you just change your clientele. If you tried to charge $8,000 for a seat in San Antonio, you'd have an empty arena.
You would, right? But the fact of the matter is come on now. Who's going to pay that?
New Yorkers.
New York.
That's wild.
People with
that's wild.
There.
Well, you have all those celebrities that are part of it. It will be historic because the wins that the Knicks have not won since 73.
73, yeah.
That's 53 years.
Reed, DeBusschere, and Bill Bradley up front. Yeah. Walt Frazier in the back.
They haven't won in 53 years. So it's New York. It's a market. It's a big market, and they're just crazy about the Knicks. Knicks arguably is the number one team in New York, and they have the Yankees, and they have the Jets and the Giants. But the Knicks are
the Giants. The Jets are not a number one team.
They got the Giants. The Jets are just.
I'm saying as far as fan base. I mean, as historic as the Yankees are in New York, I would dare say that the Knicks are their number one team over every sport. Here's
how you split that whole thing up there. It's either the fans, it's either Yankees, Giants, Knicks and Rangers, or Mets, Jets, Devils, and Nets. That's the way that it divides there in New York. That's the way you divide up your teams. Everybody got it?
Well,
Yeah,
there's something.
that's the great
I keep
divide of
crossing.
New York right
My
there.
brother-in-law
Yankees, Giants, Rangers, and Knicks for the 4 sports. Okay, you're either Yankees, Giants, Rangers, and Knicks, or you are Mets, Jets, Devils, and Nets. That's the way it goes. There is no cross.
Yeah.
my brother-in-law, he's a Yankees fan and a Jets fan. So
Yeah, he needs to
and,
be. I'm gonna turn him in. I'm gonna turn him in.
he's a Knicks fan too.
But I have a
Listen.
New York guy. He's a Jets and Mets fan.
And apparently Swift is a New York fan now too.
Now, my producer said, judging by the way she's acting, she's not a fan. She's just there for publicity.
Oh, really? Gee, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just there for
In a
publicity.
shocking turn of events.
Yeah, you know what the sad thing is though? I feel like now every time I turn a sporting game on, she's there.
Yeah,
she's
I just
there.
wait for the
It's
camera
absolutely
to get back to
annoying.
the game.
What?
That's all. I just wait for the camera to pan back to the game, and then I start watching again. So whatever.
Yeah, but
I don't worry about it. And look, let's look at it. When it comes down to it, all the networks and everything, it's about ratings. It's about ratings. Yeah. There are the Swifties. They will want to see Taylor Swift anywhere. So if they think she's going to be at an event and it's like Taylor Swift is going to be here, you're going to get an additional percentage of people watching the game just so they can see the moment when a timeout is taken and they pan to Taylor Swift in the crowd.
Yeah.
That's how that thing works. So, hey.
Yeah. You know, speaking of famous people being at these games, right? Donald Trump, the first sitting president to go to an NBA Finals game, right? Okay. First sitting president. The dude gets booed there, okay? And to show everybody what he thinks of them booing, Donald Trump sits down and falls asleep. He says, "I'll show you," and just the picture of him, he's like this.
Well, I remember Joe Biden going to a Stanley Cup final game in 2010, when I think it was when the Flyers played the Blackhawks in the final. He went to he's a Philadelphia area guy, so
Yeah, but I gotta say though, this has been an interesting thing with him, and to not get into the politics here, but that brought up the question of even Whoopi Goldberg was like, why can't he go to the game? Like everybody that's a fan should be able to attend the game without obviously getting booed.
And you know what? Look at I'll say this: when you look at the lower bowl and all those seats that are costing $70,000, $80,000, $100,000, $200,000, a lot of those people aren't even fans. They're not. They just have access. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they have access, so they get to be seen. That's what it's about.
That's all it is. That's all it is. They get to be seen, and that's networking, I guess you could say. Socialize.
Sure. Because if you can go, that's the thing is showing that you're being there shows that you have access. That's what it is. Yeah. And it's one of those, it's like being an A-lister or something. Were you at the Knicks game? Well, why not? Because you're not, in that type of a crowd. That's the whole thing about that when it comes to those really expensive seats. It's not about the game. It's the fact that Justin can be at that game. Whether you paid for it or didn't, there's a certain number of seats available. And trust me, for all those seats that are costing 6 figures, there's a line of people who would go, but can't because they don't know somebody or whatever. So
yeah, I think you're right. Right. It's like, you don't take Will Ferrell, who always goes to the Kings games. Like he's actually a fan. Right. But most of the time when you see people that show up and want to be, that show up and get put on screen, you're right. It's kind of like a secret society where they're there just to kind of socialize for a little bit. The Jenners are here too, get the screen time, show the world that you're interested in at least sitting in the garden that night with the other folk.
Right.
So it's just interesting because it did bring up the question of why are we booing somebody that everyone has access to the game? They should be able to be there. Especially.
Well, people went nuts because Jackson Dart. What did he do? Something associated with Trump?
Oh, I do want to tell you that's
something like that.
Well, that's the thing. So yeah, Jackson Dart, he did an introduction for Trump at a Trump rally, right? And it's like we talked about this last week. It's when Jameis Winston was like, "No, we're a team here."
Right.
But the quote unquote journalists in the room, it's like they can't seem to let it go, right? So I was watching another interview of, I think it was a defensive tackle or whatever offensive line, just kept hounding it, and the guy was like, well, he's a leader, but if he's going to line himself with Trump, I just absolutely can't stand for that. And then it was like why are we having these conversations? You're going to let this, these journalists who are getting paid to kind of antagonize you, break up the locker room and make that. It's like this, again, not a conversation sports people should be having.
Right.
You're a player, you're an athlete. It's like the answer to their question is, who the F cares? And then get off the stage, right?
Well, we got to remember too that it really, honestly, it is, when it comes to a lot of the journalists and the athletes, it's revenge of the nerds. That's what it is. You have all these guys who are great athletes, and then you got the guys who got stuffed into lockers and got swirlies when they were in high school, and now they have a chance to turn the tables because all these great athletes are now accountable to you. Even though you never played sports, were never good at it, got picked last for teams, always, and now you're in a position where you can just needle them unmercifully.
Yeah.
I agree, but it's like at the same time though, I get that, right? Is that and you see that's why a lot of these rules show up, because people that got made fun of by an athlete one time, or they get in a position of power, and all of a sudden they have to put a rule on all these other athletes. It's like, well, you can't do this, right? And that's why now out here in Texas you can't have full pads on past 89 degrees, right? 89 degrees, you can't have full pads on. It's just because somebody that hasn't played the sport got picked on by some kind of athlete, then decided to make a rule for it. But then as a club, you should sit there and train your players like, hey, any political questions come on, just say next, right? Or who
Well, you know what
cares,
you
and
have
move
to do?
on.
Honestly, the league should step in. The league should step in and make a rule that any questions asked of players have to pertain to the game.
Yeah.
There you go.
But then what's Goodall gonna do? Just put something else in the end zone, like some kind of catchy phrase?
I'm saying questions that are asked.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot address players regarding social issues. Make that a rule.
Yeah, I think that should be the case. I think that'd be more the club than Goodall. I think the Goodall, as long as he got lobbied, he would forego that. But again, you're right. It's like, don't answer social questions. You're an athlete. Answer anything else having to do with football.
Yeah.
But not those ones, right? But that's the point. Is I've seen this unravel, and it's kind of like you're watching these guys in these interviews. It's like, just like you sound dumb. Now it's like you're changing the climate of the locker room, the relationships you have with these people.
Guys are searching for the right answer. That's the problem. I mean, here you are, you're playing a game, and they're asking you things that don't pertain to the game. And the Knicks just won that game by 1 point. Holy crap.
They did. 3-1.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That comeback, man, I tell you what, they got one more, and they got that win. Look at that.
Hey, I got a confession to make. I took the Spurs +2 today. So I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I took the Spurs +2. So I won, man. I won. I took the Spurs +2.
Why?
Why did I take the Spurs +2?
Yeah.
I won.
Oh,
the Knicks only won by 1 point. Okay, I got the Spurs +2.
So you won?
I'm saying I won.
Okay. Coming from the Sorry.
Okay, one of us doesn't gamble. At least
make some money over there.
Well, I take your advice, Charles, when you say don't gamble. I took the advice and don't gamble.
I dabble in it, but trust me, most people are not wired like me. They do not have my type of discipline, and that's it. Like I said, if I'm going to bet football, I will put money in the account at the beginning of the season, normally $100, and when it's gone, it's gone. If it makes it to the end of the season, I cash out. But when it's gone, it's gone. And that's it. I have that kind of discipline. A lot of people don't. They'll lose it like week 3 and say, "Oh no, that was a fluke. That was a fluke. Let me put some more in there." No. No.
You gotta budget that part as an entertainment option.
Right. Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's just like Easy E thinking he's gonna beat me this year and take my money for fantasy football. Right. He's gambling on
it's been taken already. It's been taken already. It's accounted for.
I'll give you that one. Oh man, that was a.
Is this game gone final?
Which one?
What?
Basketball. Did it go final?
Yeah.
It's just at the end, but it's not. Was there anything controversy at the end or anything?
I didn't see anything.
It's over. Yeah.
Did they call a foul or something?
Over?
No, they're interviewing right now.
Oh, okay, all right. I guess it's over. They just have
they're interviewing right now.
107, 106. Holy crap!
Look at that. Then they came back too. Good lord, what a game!
Yeah,
what a game.
Did they put back on time? Put back on the clock?
No, they're walking out the court right now.
No, this is not the 72 Olympics, so they're not going to give them 3 chances to win the game.
It's not the beer gate for the Browns, where they they're throwing beer on the thing so they get the team off, and then it's like, no, you had to finish the game. Yeah. Or do the review from 2 plays ago.
That's a good thing. So I know my brother-in-law is happy.
Came back from 29 points down.
He's probably calling me right now.
Knicks fans, most of you have never even seen them win a championship in your lifetime. Your brother's one of them, right? He's probably never seen him win.
No, my brother-in-law, he's just 44, just turned 44.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's a pup.
He's a pup. So he'd never seen him. He never seen him. Well, maybe he saw him in the finals in '99 when they went to the finals in '99. That's probably it. He's
still got an ill-fitting Patrick Ewing jersey while he's watching this.
Probably does. Or John Starks, one of the two.
No. You do not watch the Knicks in the final with John Starks jersey. No.
Man, that's wild. The dude took a 3-point, missed it, and then the rebound was just like kind of a tip in.
That was the final play of the game.
Yeah, final play of the game. Way to be there. Way to post up and get that.
So what do you say, Charles? You still think San Antonio's going to win the series?
You know, I did think that. I thought they'd win this game. 29-point lead. You understand my reasoning, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you can get a 29-point lead in a basketball game, that means you can also win that basketball game.
Yeah.
And this is also this is why I say don't gamble. This is why I say don't gamble. Just think about all the people who.
Or maybe when the Knicks are down by 29, that's when you gamble. Because
could you imagine the odds you could get betting on them when they were?
That's what I'm saying. The odds at that moment, the odds in that moment are going to be incredible. That's when you put it down, and if they come back.
Yeah, but do you know how much money you'll lose betting on teams that are down by 20 points in basketball games?
I understand, but it's like right now, Carolina. I'll put money on Carolina if they're down. The moment they're down 5 goals to 0, I'm like, Carolina's coming back. I put money on them because they've done it already.
I'll tell you what, if they go down by 5 goals, I'll cover any bet you want to place.
I'm saying, I'll wait till that moment because you can bet during the moments.
I know there's live betting, which is just another.
Yeah, live betting is just go with live betting and be
also known as fool's gold.
And it is fool's gold. But listen, if you can afford to drop 100, 1,000 on a bet like that, what are the odds going to be? What's the spread? How much are you going to get in return?
Look here, if you can afford to bet 1,000 on something like that, you shouldn't be gambling. Find a real hobby. Or check yourself into a program because you got a problem. That's all I have to say about that, man.
Well, Charles, you're gonna go bet on the aliens coming on June 24th, right? You're gonna make that bet?
I'm gonna get on Kalshi and see what the odds are on that of an alien presence on June 24th, and maybe just in the second half of June, and we'll see. Yeah. Why not?
You could win some money. You could win some money right there.
If they show up,
What if they do show up?
well, then I guess I win. Unless they destroy the world too, in which case I die.
Then you gonna party with them?
What
I
if
will.
what if they hold on? What if they show up and then take your money?
What would they do with money?
Money's only good here, unless you invested in Jupiter.
And money is barely even good here, anyways.
Anyway, back to football. Here we go, guys. The Browns, right? They lose Myles Garrett, then they lose their their other defensive tackle, and then now they're left with Cam Verse and the other dude that they picked up. Covering that
Then they have left guard that retired also.
Yeah, left guard. Sorry, left guard.
So it's like everybody's jumping ship. They're like, you know what? This is going nowhere. Let me just get off while I can. I'm still healthy because.
Oh, you know what? We didn't talk about. The Cincinnati Bengals. They actually restructured Joe Burrow's contract as well. I don't know
what they do. I didn't see that one. It didn't show up.
But I saw an interview with Chris Carter that's just floating around, and he grew up near Cincinnati, and he talked about how toxic an organization it is. He says, never in my youth, when I'm in the projects, starving, not enough food, dreaming of playing football, I never dreamt of being a Cincinnati Bengal. He just lived like 10 miles outside of town. He said, I never wanted to play for that organization. Ever.
I don't think wasn't Chris Collinsworth a Bengal too? I don't think he talks about it.
Yes.
I don't think he talks about it on a usually. Yeah, when I was with the Cowboys, Troy Aikman. When I was with the Cowboys, Tony Romo. You never hear Collinsworth. When I was with the Bengals.
Well, worst part is Collinsworth should have a Super Bowl ring. The Bengals have played in 3 Super Bowls, and arguably they could have won every one of them. It's just you had a drop by what's his name? The defensive back. Joe Montana threw the ball right to him, and he dropped. Lewis Billups dropped a touchdown, dropped a sure interception, and then in that next game, you had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase had Jalen Ramsey on the ground, and Burrow just needed to arc it out there into space, but Aaron Donald got there for the sack. And before that, the first trip was Ken Anderson. That famous goal line stand that the Niners made.
Yeah.
The Niners beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. So the Bengals that close to having had 3 rings.
What was that, 82, 83? With Boomer? They have Boomer Esiason?
Yeah, he went, and that was the Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah.
But 81 was the game with the Ken Anderson Bengals. So they've had 3 franchise quarterbacks. Each franchise quarterback has gotten there once and lost that Super Bowl. And it was a game they could have won. But you think about it, and everybody bashes Cincy. And then you got Cleveland, who's never been to a Super Bowl. Their last championship they had was before the
technically they've been to Super Bowls because when they moved to Baltimore, they won Super Bowls in Baltimore.
They moved to Baltimore. The same organization moves to Baltimore and becomes a Super Bowl champion. And then the new Browns franchise establishes in Cleveland, and they're as bad as the Browns were when they left Cleveland. Dog, it's just terrible. And it didn't take them that long after they left Super Bowl.
But to their credit, before they moved to Baltimore, they were a pretty contending team. They had a pretty decent team. They were contenders. They were building up something, and then the owner was like, nope, we're moving to Baltimore because they wouldn't build them a new stadium, and they had the same confidence. Like, you know what? Picking up, selling, they sold the team, moved to Baltimore. So now, and 2 years, 3 years after they moved to Baltimore, they win the first Super Bowl?
It didn't take long. No.
It didn't take long after they moved to Baltimore. They won their first Super Bowl.
So there's something toxic about Cleveland when it
comes if you look at them, the Bengals have been, ever since they moved to Baltimore and built that first Super Bowl team, they've really been a contender every year, even with Joe Flacco, even with all these different quarterbacks, and now of course with
Lamar.
Yep. They still have where it's like every year, no matter how bad they play the previous year, nope, You see them as they're like the perennial winners of their division. Like they're the odds-on favorites to win every year. And for the last 3-4 years, they've been the odds-on favorites to make it to the Super Bowl. They just haven't been able to get there.
Yeah. Can only be the better team on paper for so long.
Oh man.
I guess I opened that door.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Okay.
Mercy.
Kings hire Peter Lavioletta as their new coach. They took him today, signed that contract.
I still think there's
We'll
something
see.
big in the offing. Something's going to happen this offseason. I don't know what it is, but you got McDavid, the situation. You've got Austin Matthews, the situation in Toronto. And I think with Marner, with what he's doing now, it's showing just how toxic that whole Toronto thing is. But those two, I think the Kings have got something up their sleeve.
I hope so. I hope this is one of the situations.
Something's brewing.
I hope this is one of those situations like we talked about last week where they're just keeping the lid on it right now, pulling a Gretzky where they have something brewing. They got some space, especially with Kopitar out. It cleared up some cap space there.
Because you look at Laviolette, the type of coach he is, he's not a guy you would bring in really for necessarily a from the ground up rebuild project. I think they're going to do something. I think something's happening there. So we'll see. We'll see.
One thing a little bit off subject, but not really. NHL, I think they don't get that right because I don't care for seeing signings or negotiations or anything during a Stanley Cup because your news you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're coming out with news while the Stanley Cup is going. There should be something where no contract signed, no trades made, nothing during that Stanley Cup Finals. Nothing can be done until after the Cup is finalized, so we can just focus on the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I get you. I see what you're saying. It takes away from the cup, it's
no other sport does it. You never hear the World Series is on. You never hear big trades in baseball. Super Bowl is on. You never hear trades going on.
I will say that though, the problem is, and the NFL needs to fix this, is that once the regular season ends, coaches can interview for other jobs. So you have guys who are part of Super Bowl contenders and playoff teams who actually are actively negotiating with other teams, like Kyle Shanahan when the Falcons, when they blew that big lead and lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots. Kyle Shanahan was already signed to go and coach the Niners after the season, while he's still actively coaching in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's another thing. That football should eliminate that. While playoffs are going, Super Bowl going, no, they have no negotiations going, nothing, no coaches, no players, no nothing. Just let's focus on.
I think Bill Belichick kind of alluded to that because they talked to him after he won a Super Bowl, and he says and you know how he was, but he says, well, one thing we're 6 weeks behind on preparing for next season. Because that's the thing is the other teams, they can prepare for next season. And if they stop that, then that would put everyone on a level playing field.
Yeah.
So,
I think so too. Yeah. Other news, Kay, is that Oilers are talking to Mike Babcock as their new coach.
Are they talking to him or they signed him?
According to this, is nearing a deal for the one that I got.
Near or here?
Nearing, from what I can see. Near.
Okay.
Near. Okay.
All right.
So they're near a deal with him. If we jump over to the Professional Women's Hockey League, Olympic hero Hillary Knight is being traded to an expansion team.
Where can we watch the Women's Hockey League? I mean, I have no problem watching it, but where is it? I can watch.
They showed it.
ESPN Ocho.
What's that one? The Ocho? But after the dodgeball championships, right?
So she's getting traded. Another shout out to women's sports here is that Nelly Korda won the U.S. Women's Open of golf, and Nelly Korda, I gotta say, she is a fantastic golfer. She kills it. She's consistent and played this tournament well.
Yeah.
So it's a good win. Good win. I know there's not much to say outside of that unless you watch women's golf. But
Well,
she's
actually,
kind of like the.
I don't watch a lot of golf anyway, but every now and then I'll turn on. If it's a major, I turn on a Sunday, look at the leaderboard. I was like, okay, mathematically, this looks like it'll be fun, and I'll sit and watch it.
Yeah.
It's about the math.
So again, she's fun to watch if you guys get a chance to watch women's golf. She's consistent, plays well. She's kind of like I compare her more to Scheffler. She's got kind of the same height, and the way that her mechanics of her swing is the same. So definitely, if you get a chance, watch that. But that was a good win for her. She did manage to take off her shoes that LeBron James gave her and put different shoes on. I don't know why that's a headline, but it was.
Why, when she had the LeBrons on, she kept on falling over?
Yeah, she would slip mid-swing, right?
Yeah.
Ah! Then throw her arms up and look to the judge. So, yeah, I don't know why that was a headline, but I thought that was funny that was a golf headline that ESPN ran with.
What socks was she wearing?
What
socks was she wearing?
LeBron socks.
You got to wear ergonomic socks like I do. They're made for the left foot and the right foot, and they're clearly marked. You got to wear them. Their comfort is unmatched. Once you get older,
you probably have compression
underwear, man.
You probably have compression socks.
That's like the oldest stuff you can say, Charles. So you have to have a pair of socks to tell you which one goes on which foot.
I still get the shoes on the wrong feet, though. That's the problem. And I got to remember, toes point inward.
Yeah. We also got L'Jarius Sneed coming back to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Signing, which is another veteran old player, but
defensive backfield. That's what it comes down to. They're down Trent McDuffie, who's gone to the Rams. So what are they going to do outside of Chris Jones? What they got?
They have a bunch of young players that they drafted.
Yeah, I get you. Snead is what, 37 or something?
Yeah.
Right. You started off talking about geriatric players, man. Come on, homeboy.
Yeah, he is a geriatric player.
Right.
Oh, and even better news, guys, is that the Cardinals picked up they have a quarterback who is normal size reporting to their mini camp. Jacoby Brissett, normal size. He's not a 1 foot QB. He is an actual person.
So he's gonna be their number one guy. He's their number one.
Well, he's just reporting to minicamp.
In the Vikings, it's like Kyler Murray reporting to minicamp, and I didn't build a joke around that. I feel sorry. You know what? I must be slipping. I'm getting old.
They had to call it minicamp so they didn't discriminate against them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, where else would he report? It have to be any camp he reports to.
So he goes to minicamp. Where does everybody else go?
Right. Yes. Yeah. There you go. Let's see. He started putting it together. He's like, "Oh, wait! I get it now."
we can roll with this one.
Muy chistoso.
That was. That was all in the world of sports. I think we covered the whole gambit here today. I'm excited. Though. I think the NHL is going to finish, strong and historic, and football is right around the corner.
And you know what? It's like when we come back next week, we may have 2 new champions crowned. We could have the Knicks and the somebodies in the NHL.
Yeah, I still don't want to pick who's gonna win. That's I don't even want to, because it's it's too even right now. It could for the Stanley Cup. It could go.
You only like to pick when it's really easy.
Funny thing is, I'm still saying Vegas.
Up until the horn
I'm
hits,
still
right?
saying Vegas. If I'm putting money on it, I'm putting money on Carolina because I would make more money.
See,
'Cause-
Justin, this is why you don't
What do
gamble.
you-
Listen to this. Listen to this.
Yeah. What do you, Kurt Warner making a gambling commercial?
Hey, I'm not Kurt Warner.
And you gonna go to church after that? Come on now.
So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till Game 7 because there will be a Game 7. See what the odds are. Wait till Vegas is up 2-3 goals, and then I'm gonna place my bet. I'm gonna put the deed of my house on that bet. Everything on Vegas, on Carolina to come back and win that game.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you something. Now, to E's point, let me just tell you, gambling. So I remember when they had the boxing match. It was a boxing match, not a UFC match, but when Floyd Mayweather fought Conor McGregor, okay? The odds were 10-1 for Mayweather. Now, when they talked about the gambling, though, 90% of the bets were on Mayweather, okay? Because of what E was talking about. But 90% of the money, 90% of the bets were on McGregor, if that's what I said. But 90% of all the money was actually on Mayweather. He was a 10-1, so you had to put up $10 to win one, but any person who had a lot of money, you want to pick up an easy, 10 grand or so, just slap down $100,000 and you have an extra 10,000 by the end of the night. But if you're just a regular dude, you can't afford to put down $1,000 because you might win 100. I mean, the unthinkable happens, and then you can't make your car payments. So that's what E is talking about there, is the hitting those long shots.
Here's the deal.
Yeah, hit the long shot.
Easy E is putting the deed of his house on there, so the next podcast could very well be Easy E underneath the bridge in Austin, reporting live from the streets.
Or I can go get my penthouse in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you could. You could. So it's either a penthouse in Vegas or underneath the bridge in Austin.
Under the bridge and bumming Wi-Fi off of my neighbor.
Hey, Austin isn't a bad place to be homeless, and they're really sympathetic, especially to like peoples of color and whatnot,
and veteran peoples of color too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Are you veteran and brown? Sure, we got you.
You get the luxury bridge.
You can even go to Franklin Barbecue and might be able to get you some free brisket sandwich, man.
With the thick carton houses, not the thin ones, not the regular, the thick, the shipment,
the
boxes.
real cardboard houses,
real cardboard. You get that one,
and your signs will be spelled correctly too, so that's cool. Oh my goodness! All right, we will wrap it up there. Again, we appreciate your time. We love that you guys, tune in and watch us, right? We added 3 new subscribers, 3 new family members to the T.D.G.S. Sports community, man. Keep it up. Thank you for the love and support. We appreciate that. You will find us on Rumble. You will find us on Spotify, on Substack, on X, on YouTube. As a general note,
write it down.
I know.
Have a little screenshot with all the places that someone.
I gotta do that. You're right.
I think person, your research girl, why don't you get her to stand in front of you with a whiteboard, or is she in the union and can't do that?
No. She's just there for research, right? She said my job is researching.
Okay, so you can research what channels you're on, and then she can put it on a whiteboard and hold it up for you. That's how I see it. She could,
or I could remember to do that myself and put it right here on the present or invite another person on there. Think about that one.
Yeah, and put it on the screen.
When you redesign, when you're writing up her job description, put that in there, and then when you have your quarterly meeting, let her know that that's part of her new duties. You might want to take something else away.
Yeah, I'll bring that up in the next business. I'll bring that up in the next business meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, on a general note, Substack is always, or not Substack, but Spotify is always a release early, generally next day release, so you have access to the episode earlier than you would on the other platforms, so you can put it on in your car and listen to it. We appreciate that.
Yeah, Justin knows about early releases. I've heard.
Unless the horn is hit, and then there's just none at all. not a release. Anyway, until next week, next Wednesday when we record, next Monday when we produce our episode. So you will see this on Monday of next week. Until the Monday after that, we will see you later.
Later.
Peace out.
Later.